Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Cars and Fitness. Today I got a special treat for you guys. So we're gonna go for a nice cruise, and I'm gonna give you a real nice review on a very unique BMW. We've got a lot of positive feedback from a previous classic BMW that we did, the 633, and I found this unique gem somewhere in our area, and you'll be really pleased. So it's finally got warm out, and I was able to get the car out of the storage, out of the hibernation, and tell you about it, show you some unique things about it. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel. In a couple minutes, you'll get a real in-depth review. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This is Eugene from Cars and Fitness. And as promised, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a review and tell you about this unique BMW 325 convertible. So let's begin. So it's 1987 model year, 325 CI. So C at that time stood for convertible. It's a 2.5 liter straight six engine. I'll show you that in about a minute. But let's go over some of the basics for this car. All right, so it was produced in mid 80s to early 90s. It came in a few different variants. In US, we had the coupe, we had the sedan, and we had the convertible. And some areas in Canada and Europe were fortunate enough to have a wagon. So this example is a convertible. Right, so right off the bat, as you're looking at it, you can tell that this car is probably not the way it rolled off the factory, and you'd be pretty close to being right. So this car has been restored and has been tastefully modified with a whole bunch of little and big pieces that we'll get into in a second. So these cars are very rare. Right now they're not very expensive, but the difficulty is finding parts for it because it hasn't been made in a long time. And then having somebody, whether it's yourself getting the knowledge to install it, or having a shop that knows exactly these cars and is able to do the work for you. So let's get into some exterior details. Right, so from the front you can see that this car has the center and the high beams are yellow. So this is typical kind of European style. It goes along with the European license plate. Obviously that's for decoration, right? So the outer headlights have been upgraded from regular halogen to the xenon with projector lights. These typically came in later model cars, early 90s. All right, as you start to look down, you can see the front lower part right below the bumper. This, if you know a little bit about these cars, you know that you would never see that in a convertible, a stock car. So this is a 325 IS front. It's called Valence, and it's been custom fitted to this car to give it that aggressive, more aggressive stance, right? And you could see the fog lights coming out a little bit because this Valence was never meant for this type of car, because this is more on a luxury scale versus an IS, which is more of a sporty model, which were pretty typically coupes. Welcome back, everyone. So we're still here with the E30, and as promised, we're gonna take a look at the engine bay and some of the components, some of the things that have been upgraded, and see really what we can expect from this 32-year-old car. Right, so this engine has a factory code. It's called M20. It's a 2.5 straight six. Off the factory developed 184 horsepower. So probably by now it's a little bit less. Right, so to compensate for the loss, right, this particular car has a cold air intake, which has some ups and downs. Right, you get a little bit more of that intake sound. You get a little bit more air into the engine, but the downside is when the car heats up, the intake sucks in hot air as well, so that there's a little bit of that heat soak, right? So you can see suspension wise, you can see this brace, which improves improves the handling, right? So what you don't see here is this car has an upgraded chip, which changes the air to fuel ratio a little bit and gives it a few extra ponies here and there. So overall, I would say it's pretty much irrelevant at this point for this car at this age, because it's by no means a track car or performance car. But you know, compared to other E30 convertibles of this age, it's pretty peppy, and I think it you know, it's slightly better acceleration, slightly better response time, right? So, and one thing that I want to point out is, you know, let me take a step back, and you could see how the hood opens. This is very interesting because it has its again pros and cons, because the pro is you know, on the side you have much more access from the left side, but the downside is from the front it's very difficult to get anywhere near the front of the engine where the radiator area is. So that's but that's an interesting kind of a historical, that's what the older cars used to have. All right, a couple more things I wanted to mention mechanically about this car. It has upgraded lighter flywheel with a short shifter clutch. What that means is upgraded flywheel, it sheds a little bit of weight, and short shifter, the car shifts quicker. The actual movement of the gear lever is shorter, and that gives a little bit better driving dynamics. Right? It also has a couple of upgraded suspension components underneath. It'll be very hard to get under, as you could see. Right? It's pretty low. We really need to get this car up on the lift to show.